Hello! The purpose of this short video is to give you some guidance for COM Project 1. The goal of COM Project 1 is for you to learn how to do a presentation that has the look and feel of a cutting-edge TED Talk. So here are the general directions for the Green Team COM Project 1. You are going to be preparing a leadership briefing, 10 minutes maximum, including week 1 and week 2 Green Team plans. So the vision, the mission, the values, and the goals, essentially. If you have the opportunity to create some slides from week 1, you can put those in a little discussion board on Sunday. This is not graded. And then be continuing on your slides so that you have them done by Sunday of week 2. And you will be giving the briefing at the beginning of class in week 3. Now, what should your presentations look like? If you haven't watched a bunch of TED Talks, then I think this is a good time to go and do some of that because they are amazing. So what should your presentations look like? Let's give a few rules of thumb. First of all, lose the standard templates. Standard templates, everybody knows what they are. They're old, they're tired. They don't show off your skill set. And you're going to be developing a really awesome skill set. So don't use a standard template, a standard design template. However, the latest version of PowerPoint, including the Office 365 version and the latest, I think it's anything from 2016 on, has got on the home page on the right-hand side something called Design Ideas. It has some really nifty ideas, and I use those a lot, and you are welcome to use those if they will help you out. One of the things that is standard in TED Talks is that they don't have a lot of text. So you don't have whole sentences, you certainly don't have whole paragraphs. You may have 1 or 2 words on a slide with a picture, a photograph, a design, a smartart graphic, something along those lines. The point is that you want to show the audience, not tell the audience what you mean to say. This gives you an example of this from the book Presentation Zen. They call it a signal to noise ratio. The slide that is up right now shows you an example that you've seen for many, many years, very typical of slides, that is a cluttered slide. This is what we're aiming for. This is a clean slide. So you want to try to make your points with as few words as possible. By all means, animate the text that you have. But don't be too cute. This is supposed to be a professional briefing. Use smartart to guide the audience through your talk. Only show the piece that you want them to see as you're talking about it, and then press on from there. For example, you can take smartart and break it up so that you can bring in parts of it at a time. Now, once you do that, they become pictures and you can't edit them. So you always want to save a copy of it in case you need to make changes. But you can see here, this is a nice little smartart where you can talk about each one of these as you're going through them. If you don't know how to do that, then we're going to cover a little bit of it right now. This is some things that you may not be aware of in PowerPoint. First of all, what you just saw is a PowerPoint transition. See transitions in the menu bar and try some of those if you haven't tried them before. But again, same thing with animation. Don't be too cute. You can do some interesting things with shape to create a dramatic effect, using a starburst or using an arrow to point out something in your photograph, and you can type the text directly in the shape. Once you do that, then you can adjust it with some drawing tools by going first to Shape Format on the menu bar. Click on the shape and then go to Shape Format. And then when you're in Shape Format, you can go to Shape Effects. In this particular case, I used a bevel in order to create an interesting effect for the starburst. Or you can go to the text and the text effects, and it has all kinds of options like shadowing, reflection, glow, transform. Again, you want to make sure that you don't make it too much. Things that can do. Now, because this is considered academic fair use, you may use images off the internet, but be careful with them. First of all, you must cite your sources. And if you need some examples of how to do that, here's a link that you can use to see how you cite your sources. One of the things you don't want to do is to copy something that is a slide and put it in there, because it's really obvious when you do that you're copying somebody else's slide. You may copy and save as an image different images. Be very careful. You want to watch that when you increase the size that they don't become fuzzy. This is a good example of a fuzzy slide. Do not do anything like this. Sometimes you can use the corrections in order to sharpen them. Sometimes that doesn't work and you have to create it all over again. You still have to cite your source when you do that. You can do a lot of things with pictures, picture enhancements. If you are copying and pasting a picture in there, you want it to look finished. You want it to look like it's there on purpose. First of all, one of the things that the presentation Zen will say is make the picture as big as possible. But if you don't, if you have a picture that's only a part of the slide, then you may want to put a frame around it to give it a finished look. You also may want to enhance it by taking a look at the color and changing the saturation or the tone. If you don't like what you did, you can recolor it. If there's a part of it that you can maybe make transparent, you can do that. There's also artistic effects that, again, you don't want to do it too much, but they can create something that's very interesting. By the way, this thing here, if you notice the edge is right, the gray is right at the edge of the hair, so that doesn't look very good, so you have to decide what you want to do. You can try to set it as transparent, but sometimes I know you know that it gets a jagged edge and whatever. So if that doesn't work, what you can also do is create a larger square, put it behind this square, and use the eyedropper to make it the same color so it looks like it's just a larger picture, and that way it has a more finished look. And then you can also put a frame, a shadow or something around the outer one. SmartArt tools allow you to, especially the photos, allow you to put in photos there. When you're inserting photos into SmartArt, you have to be careful that you want to avoid squishiness, because you will notice sometimes if you try to put a picture in there that isn't the same size as the little area for the smart art, that it will make it very squishy. So one way to avoid that is to use shapes to create the same to create the same shape as you're using in your PowerPoint smart art, and then insert the image into that and size it so that you can then create it and make it so that it doesn't look like it's squishy. So in this case, you can see if you're animating your smart art, what you want to do is go to Design, which is one of the menu drop-down menus in the top, and there's a Convert to Shapes option. As I say, make a copy of it so you can go back and change it later if you need to, because after you convert it to shapes, it makes each one of these into a little picture, and you can't do anything with it anymore to edit it. Then you go to Picture Tools and Ungroup, and then you can animate each one. You select the objects. If you want more than one, you hold the Shift and you can have more than one, and then choose the kind of animation that you want and the direction. I invite you to try this. It's fun, it's exciting, and it makes it interesting. The expectations for the leadership briefing is that it be high quality, that you enhance the images for emphasis, and that you include animation and effects, but not too much. Make sure that you have it professional. I hope that gives you some ideas for how to spiffy up your presentation to make it more like an exciting, motivating TED Talk presentation. Now, there is another video that talks about the content, what kinds of topics that you should cover in the COM Project 1. So be sure that you check that out before you start working on your slides. And if you have questions, we'll have plenty of opportunity to talk about that next week.